Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. This morning I'm looking at a really first-class book which has come to us from Ashgate Publications Limited. And this book is on the topic, of course, of law. The title is perhaps a little bit confusing. It's The Diffusion of Law. That's the title of the book. It's this one over here, which we'll have a look at in a minute. It's got a subtitle which explains a bit more. The movement of law and norms around the world. So that will immediately ring a few bells for anybody who deals with jurisprudence. The book has been edited by Sue Farrand, James Gallen, Jennifer Hendry and Krista Rautenbach. It's available as a hardback, a PDF and an e-book, and it's part of the Juris Diversitas series which Ashgate Publishing have produced. My wife Elizabeth and I have looked at this book and we've given it a title for our review: For Comparative Lawyers, Global Perspectives on the Diffusion of Diverse Systems of Law. And that's exactly what you get. Let's have a look at the book. There it is there. You can see the front page, which is quite clear. Then there is, I should just point out, that's the Juris Diversitas subgroup. There's the spine of the book there, and then there's the back, and there's some quite detailed information on the back page. It's a hardback, which you can hear, and what we do have is about 240 odd pages. There is the index right at the back. Its index is by page numbers, you'll be pleased to hear. So you should be able to find things very, very easily with this book. This is the actual book itself, right at the back. You can see there are lots of footnotes to justify assertions made throughout. If we go to the front of the book, we have the front page here. There's some quotes right at the beginning. Those are actually on the back cover as well of the book. Then you have the series of titles which are listed there, and then you have the actual front page itself. There are some forthcoming titles coming out. Then there's some basic information there concerning the ebook and everything else. Then you've got the various contents. This is a book that's been edited by a number of people, so there are a lot of contributions. There are 14 chapters in total, then the index, and therefore you've got a number of people who are contributors, and each chapter has the name of the person. There's a figure work and tables as well. Then there's a note on the individual contributors. I can't go through all of them, but there are a large number, and you can see the list there as we go through. A lot of detailed biographical information as well to explain who these people are, and that's why spending some time explaining the names. Then we come on to the introduction itself by the two of the main editors there. Now, we don't have paragraph numbering. There are subtitles, or subheads rather, which you do have, and then you do have the footnoting as well. But it's an excellent book, and as I've indicated, the way to read through this book is to just go through without looking at the footnotes initially, and then you get probably a better picture of what this is all about for the basic jurisprudence scholar involved in comparative law issues, which I would suggest is probably becoming one of the biggest areas for us at the moment. It's certainly interesting from the point of view of the commentator, the researcher, and of course the practitioner. Anyway, this is what Elizabeth and I have to say about the book. Having perused this thought-provoking book with its global orientation and its precise examinations of comparative law, one might be permitted a light-hearted comment or two, to wit that the law, or systems of law, are something like wine. Some wines are exportable, i.e. they travel well, others do not, Switzerland being a good example. So, what the book reveals is that one or several systems of law can influence and change one or several other systems of law by various processes of migration back and forth between cultures or between nation states. Such movements are referred to generally in the book as infusion, and certainly diffusion, as in the title. And I think that gives a fairly clear indication of what the general purpose of the book is. It's a collection of learned articles, as I've indicated, from expert contributors from the international academic community on the diffusion of law as a global and ongoing phenomenon. Get it right. Ongoing in many cases for hundreds of years, as systems of law, always in a state of flux, have continued to evolve to take account of different attitudes and views. The 4 co-editors, all from English-speaking constituencies, have certainly assembled a formidable range of expertise, much of it focused on the specific legal systems of specific countries. Take Turkey, for example, only one example actually of the wide range of jurisdictions examined in the book. Its legal system is presented rather than assessed as, quote, synthetically constructed from diverse sovereign sources that are still alive and used as source law today. An interesting approach by the Turks. The theory put forward identifies 4 circles of diffusion from other legal systems from about 1839 onwards, as Turkey gradually incorporated French, Swiss, Italian and German law, in that order, into its own systems of laws, French law being the most influential, with further influences from the Belgian and Prussian models. And I think it's useful to mention here that because we've got the emergence of that type of structure, think about that from the point of what we're now seeing developing quite rapidly, which is European Union law, which is an attempt to try in certain areas to unify the systems. So as the learned authors have explained, French laws constitute the most significant cycle of diffusion, which turned the Ottoman legal system into a mixed legal system in the second half of the 19th century, as a mix between civilian and Islamic law. Again, an interesting development spread over, of course, a long period of time. The last decade, however, has seen Turkey in a state of transition, as in the author's opinions, it seeks further integration within Western Europe and the European tradition, and of course has an outstanding application for membership of the European Union. In certainly not identical, but in roughly similar ways, similar phenomena have been occurring across a varied range of jurisdictions, which have certainly undergone astute and informed scrutiny in this book, and we welcome that. If you are seeking a comparison-based understanding of the processes of diffusion within, say, the legal systems of Albania, the Czech Republic, Kuwait, Poland, Turkey, Malta and a number of other jurisdictions, this book provides a carefully researched yet accessible source of information. Let me conclude by saying there are also some fascinating insights to be had regarding those anomalies called mixed jurisdictions, which we'll be familiar with in the common law jurisdiction, of course. That's the province of Quebec in Canada, for instance, and the state of Louisiana in the United States of America, where they, of course, have very substantial influences on the common law by the French. So, published recently by Ashgate Publishing, it's part of this Juris Diversitas series, and the book is quite rightly described as an important contribution to current legal theory and comparative law. And it's fair to say here that no comparative lawyer anywhere should be without a copy, and the publication date is cited as at 2015. Let me just show you the book again briefly. There's the front, the spine, which is there so you can read it, and then the back. And if we open it just up in the middle, I'm looking here at legal capital is out, EEIGC is cool. There we go. You can see the basic approaches. This is again looking at the European Union, and again that's the actual front of it. And what of that particular article, that actually looks again at the concept of what we call diffusion in a particular way, and that's really how it's done. Each of the particular contributors are looking at what we mean by diffusion in their own particular possible interpretations. I'd like to thank Ashgate very much anyway for this book. I think it's an excellent addition to the commentaries we already have in jurisprudence on comparative law, and so thank you to all of the contributors and to the publishers for an excellent new book for the Jurisprudence Library. Bye-bye.